Good morning, good morning. AJ Simmons here, and I want to tell you this. How do you free yourself from your cleaning business when it's just you cleaning and doing all of the work?
Don't bother me, I'm working. Don't bother me, I'm working.
Well, basically, it's just this simple. You have to build a system out of that business. Now, I know what you're thinking. I already know that. I know that I need to build a system, but how do I do it when I need to pay all of the bills in my house? And if I hire somebody, I won't be able to afford my bills. Now, the reason why I'm doing this video is because it's personal. You know what I mean? Like, that's exactly what I've gone through. And so this is what I came up with. The truth of the matter is, you have to have another income source or other income sources outside of your business that you're growing, whether it's a cleaning business or whatever type of business, in order for that business to grow. You can't depend on a growing business to take care of you while it's still trying to grow itself. That's just like depending on an 8-year-old child to take care of your household when they still haven't even fully grown themselves. Okay, so usually that income source has to be the 3-letter word that nobody likes to face as an entrepreneur, which is a job. And the jobs they're not that bad. I know I've been beating jobs religiously when I first started my YouTube career because I still had one then. Then once I got out of a job, I realized, you know what? A job is not a sin, but you just do want to make sure that you have a plan for how you're going to get out of that job. Now, if you're just at a job and you steady dreaming every day saying that one day I'm not going to be here, one day I'm not going to be here, one day is never going to come if you're not planning for it, okay? So what I want to say is, first of all, how you free yourself from that business that's taking up all your time is, number one, get another income source. For me, I had a rental property, and then I had YouTube money coming in, as well as a couple of random online sources of income. But usually the number one outside source of income for people other than their business is a job. And so if you have to go back and go get a job even though you already quit, do what you have to do, okay? Don't worry about what nobody else says around you or what nobody else is thinking or whatever the case may be. Get a job. What I recommend if you do get a job is get a job that requires minimal thinking. You don't want to be somewhere where they're trying to teach you and train you so many things, but you have to still focus on your business. Like, you can't learn a brand new system for somebody else when you still trying to build your own system in your business. Okay, so that's why me personally, I prefer labor jobs where I don't have to think a lot over doing maybe something that was a little bit more technical, where I'll have to, like, for example, right now, I always told, like, I was talking to my brother the other day and I was telling him if I had to go get a job, for me, if it was me right now, I would probably go get a job like doing any type of labor that before I went and actually use my trade, which is a machinist, because as a machinist I have to read blueprints. I have to actually make sure I'm paying attention before I get myself caught in a machine and die. You know what I mean? So I would try to make sure I do something that requires minimal thinking. He told me with my computer experience and all of that, why don't I get a office job? Well, it depends on what type of office job you're talking about. If it's data entry or some things like that, I wouldn't want that because I have to pay so much attention to what I'm doing and I can't focus on thinking about what I have going on outside of the job. Okay, so that's what I recommend. Another way how you can free yourself from being basically a slave in your own business is you have to keep your bills low. Okay, that's the route I took. I kept my expenses low, and then I also had income sources outside of my business. So I did a combination of both. But to keep your expenses low, now, you don't want to have a car note. I had to. Bad decision, okay? But what I did do is make sure that I did everything else right. I got rid of the cable bill. I make sure I lived at the cheapest part of town. You know what I mean? Like, you got to look for ways to save money as much as possible. So when you're buying groceries, maybe you can't buy the most expensive cereal or whatever food that you like to buy. You got to get the off-brand stuff. But do what you have to do to save money, you know, if you really want to have enough to be able to pay yourself, enough to live, but then also be able to hire people on. Because that's a big thing, especially in the cleaner industry, where people get trapped in their businesses and they don't even have a business because it's just them. Everything depends on them. The customer expects them to show up. You know what I mean? So you have to put yourself in the mindset that, you know what, this is my business, and I'm not going to work in my business anymore. You have to make up your mind and decide, you know what, if I'm the boss, it's time for me to be the boss. You know what I mean? Stop being the worker. You started a cleaning business. You didn't say I'm going to go be a freelance cleaner for the rest of my life, because that would be not smart, because as soon as you get hurt, you lose it all. You see what I'm saying? So you want to create a business, create a system from day one. That's why I always tell you guys, I've always told you this from the beginning. Start your system, hire as soon as possible, and keep your job for as long as necessary. So that way you can build that business. You don't even want to take any profit from the business, maybe for the first year. Reinvest everything. That is the best way. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hell, but that's the best way to do it. Because it's gonna be hell either way. Whether you quit your job and try to pay yourself and have enough to pay employees as well, or whether you keep a job and try to reinvest those profits for that year. It's gonna be hell either way. It'll be easier if you do actually like the job that you have while you're doing this, but regardless, it'll still be hell because there's so much that you're gonna have to do. But this is what you have to know, because otherwise you'll be stuck in that business. I see so many people do it. They buy that franchise or they start that business, get a couple accounts, and you feel like you're rolling in the dough. You feel like you're doing something, and you make the mistake like I did of thinking that the business money is your money when it's not. You know what I mean? So you have to really, really, really think about what you're doing. And because you got to remember this too, it's a business, okay? And the business money isn't yours. So therefore, what you have in that business is a position, which is a job. You just created a job for yourself. And any business that you open, that's the way it works. That's the way it sets up. You have to pay yourself out of your business, okay? So if you have to pay yourself, then you need to make sure that you're able to pay yourself an adequate amount of money to pay your bills, save money, all of that. Well, if the job that you already have does that for you, then you need to keep that job and then just open the business to create that wealth for you, okay? Because it's not about doing what you want to do right now. It's about doing what you have to do right now so that you can do what you want to do for the rest of your life. We can sacrifice 5 years now to live great forever. You see what I'm saying? So start thinking long term. Don't think so short term. Don't try to impress people and feel like you need to be a part of that lifestyle where we don't have a job and none of that. I mean, we all fall for that type of stuff, but at the end of the day, you have to do what's important and do what makes sense for you and your family long term. So this is AJ Simmons. I hope this was able to help you guys in your journey and in your entrepreneurship journey that you're going through and everything. And I'll talk to you guys again tomorrow.